way from northern state of Punjab, Principal Vinodita Sankhyan, Principal of Sri Ram Ashram School, Amritsar. Hello, ma'am. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you and pleasure being here with all of you.
All right, then. Principal Dr. Vinodita Sankhyan, our audience is very curious to know from you, and it's a very typical question coming in from schools, how to convince management of schools and parents for STEM education.
See, in any setup, the pocket which funds the program is very important. And for any project, the pocket that is going to fund is either the parent or the management. And STEM, as all of us have been sharing here, is one that we would say is a forward-looking need of the hour kind of a project, which is basically retweaking the mindset of the people around, changing perspectives. And for that, we need to convince and we need to have on board both the managements on one side and the parents on one side. Supposing you have to have a STEM lab in school, supposing you need to hire a new trainer for STEM in school, or maybe you have a minor changes in the curriculum or whatever, you need to first take permissions from your management. And at some places, they need to provide for the infrastructure, they need to provide for the funding, and they need to provide for the means and ways by which it can be wholeheartedly handled. If there is a friction between the management and the principal or the faculty for implementing STEM, I don't think the project will work very smoothly. Then any project would not move ahead if the parent community is not there. They are very strong stakeholders in any school community. And because the parent in any school, any urban, semi-urban or rural areas, parents in India are the people who decide what the child does and how much time and where the child is going to invest the time. So it's very, very important that they need to be enlightened before the child needs to get enlightened. So we need to bring the parents on board. We've been doing STEM in our school. I think we've been associated with RoboGenius since 2015 now. And in between COVID happened, still a large number of my parents have been able to come on board for that. But it took us a lot of time and convincing them. Now they've come up to the stage when they look forward and when the results of implementing STEM education in school is visible to them. On the basis of STEM programs, now the children are getting placements in good and better colleges. Now the parents are convincing, and see, it goes by word of mouth. You call the parents for a parent orientation, you display the projects on the PT meets and things like that. Still, they take time to adopt to the new technology and adopt to a new perspective. NEP has come a long way. The government is talking a lot about it, but still it is a tall call.
Certainly, Principal Sankhyan, the entire STEM movement in India is a principle showcasing the change, difference, and convincing parents and management in taking interest in STEM education and implementing it through labs or other means that are available. All right, to our next question to you, Principal Sankhyan, can you tell us how do schools find trained staff and infrastructure needed for implementation of STEM education?
See, you've touched a very sensitive chord. We in Punjab are facing a huge challenge. We are not getting trained faculty. Thanks to RoboGenius, they would always fly down their faculty to Amritsar, and then we would host them in the school for 3 days. And that is the passion with the school was there, that yes, we have to do it. Otherwise, we really, I think in all rural, urban places, this is a huge challenge. Even if you train your own teachers, there is a limitation. The exposure is not all that much. It is always advisable and it is always desirable to have a trained faculty at the local level. because that way the hands-on training can be done in during holidays or maybe for longer hours, maybe on weekends, which with the numbers that we have, with the challenges that we have in India, that is the need of the hour, to devote more time into it so that the exposure is widespread. So trained faculty and training our own staff is a big challenge. I just hope that in the Center of Excellences that CBSE is building up, CBSE would take this also as one of the skills that need to be developed at the faculty level. Let's hope.
Certainly, Principal Sankhyan. We are also working with powers that be to make sure that training in STEM, how to implement STEM through existing subjects, is imparted and the capacities are built through initiatives of principals like you and others. This moves me to the next question that our audience has from you. As a school leader, as an administrator, you have a very busy schedule as per syllabus. How do you adjust time to fit STEM education within this curriculum?
I think where there's a will, there's a way. You can always figure out how to do it. I personally, we've been doing that since quite a few years now. I don't think that is a challenge. As some of the speakers today, they've mentioned that with the advent of NEP, the CBSE as well as the government is going to rationalize the syllabus very soon, and they'll be sharing it with us. Otherwise also, we are supposed to give sports some time, we are supposed to give health education some time, and when you have your parents on board, I think that's a very important component of the entire scene. When they are on board and you wish to train the children or have a STEM session with them, maybe on a Saturday afternoon, or maybe during the summer breaks, or maybe during other holidays that you have, or maybe coming while before school time, it works. It has been working for us. And at times we've been making space for STEM classes during the school timing, at times before and after the school timing also. So I think fitting it into the daily schedule of children is not an issue. That is not part of the problem. The trained faculty, bringing the parents on board in my school and in my zone, that is the major challenge.
All right. One last question that we want to ask from you, and that is that while we are doing capacity building and onboarding teachers, quickly, if you can tell us how do schools like yours find exact kits and tools needed for STEM education?
Again, thanks to RoboGenius again. When we started it initially, they had provided us with tools and kits for these programs. And we do not have too many kits, but because we juggle the time of the children, we are able to cover all the children with those few kits that we have. So I don't think that's a problem, because any faculty, when they get trained, and any company that handholds you into that, and now as Mr. Sudhanshu was just mentioning, that they have sponsors who can maybe build up the labs or maybe help you with that, and I'm sure they will come around with the government funding also, that should not be a problem.